In today's topic for agricultural extension, we will be talking about two processes. Okay, although quite similar, pero na-differentiate siya in theory. So we will be talking about first the adoption and later on the diffusion of technology and innovation in the context of agricultural extension. Okay. So unahin natin sa tanong, what is adoption? So adopt, that's the keyword. Sa Tagalog, mag-ampon. So ang adoption is the process by which your farmer is exposed to, considers, and either accepts or rejects a particular innovation. It's according to Mosher. So katulad ng pag-aampon ng bata, ito naman is pag-aampon ng isang innovation or isang idea. Okay? Ano yung proseso kung saan ang isang farmer nagkaroon ng, let's say, interest doon sa idea na yun and patuloy na inaccept niya yung idea sa kanyang daily practice. Yun ang adoption. Okay? And also, adoption, hindi yan nangyayari ng sabay-sabay or in a community level. Adoption happens in an individual level. And it is consist of 5 successive steps. Yun yung unang process na pag-uusapan natin. So, the stages of adoption can be simplified into 5 stages. Ito yung first stage natin, and ito yung final stage natin. Awareness and interest, yan ay foundational stage. Kung saan nag-gather pa lang si farmer ng information, and dapat, kung ikaw ay isang extension worker, pupukpukin mo siya ng information during this stage. Evaluation and trial naman, yan ay hands-on na. Okay? So, medyo hands-on na si extension worker dyan in allowing the farmer to try out itong mga ideas na to. And hopefully, we move forward with adoption, although minsan hindi nag-move forward si farmer sa adoption, kundi nagkakaroon ng rejection. So, in order for your program as an agricultural extensionist to be effective, ang goal mo is dapat ma-adapt niya yung new idea na yun. Or kung i-reject man niya, alam mo kung paano mag-recalibrate nang sa ganon makapag-introduce ka ng other ideas probably, or makapag-strategize ka ng other methods para ma-adapt na niya yung new technology or yung innovation or idea na pinopromote mo sa kanila. So tingnan natin isa-isa from awareness to adoption stage. Okay. Awareness stage is when the farmer becomes aware. So una niyang na-realize niya na, mayroon palang gantong technology or innovation. Or kumbaga, wala talaga siyang kaalam-alam. At dito sa new idea na gusto mong i-promote sa kanya, tapos nabasa niya sa brochure or narinig niya sa isa sa mga talk mo, so nagkaroon siya ng awareness. There's something in there na maaaring tumulong sa akin. So that's awareness. Second stage would be interest. So dito, sa stage na to, hindi lang aware si farmer. So hindi lang niya alam yung innovation, but rather medyo active na siya, engaging with the information. So he is now seeking more information about it. And meron na siyang preconceived idea na baka makatulong to sa akin. That this technology could be beneficial. So at this stage, kapag engaged na si farmer dun sa information na binibigay natin, dapat nabibigay natin kung ano yung nasasagot natin kung ano yung mga katanungan niya, or nakakapagbigay tayo ng additional information that would make him more and more interested doon sa innovation or new idea na ating pinopromote. Now, after interest stage comes now evaluation. So, marami na siyang information na nag-gather si farmer. What's he going to do now is to assess the innovation against yung context niya, meron ba siyang resources, okay? Pwede ba ito sa farm niya? Ano ba yung expectation niya? Yeah? So, he will start to assess kung babagay ba to sa kanya. Okay? Or kung magiging beneficial ba talaga ito sa kanya. But again, this is evaluation stage is still on the mind. Okay? Hindi pa niya hands-on na i-experience yung innovation. So, tinitignan lang niya kung babagay ba sa konteksto ng buhay niya yung innovation, and at the same time, kung talaga bang magiging beneficial sa kanya. Kasi baka naman, malugi siya or it would be a disadvantage to him or her if he or she adopts the innovation. Ngayon, if ever na pag-isipan niya, na-realize niya na, hindi, talagang effective itong innovation na to and nababagay sa konteksto ng buhay ko, comes now the trial stage. Okay? Ang trial is implementation but in a small scale environment. Why do farmers start with implementation into a small scale environment? Why? Okay, bakit? Bakit small scale lang muna? Okay, para hindi sayang yung resources kung sakaling mag-fail. So yan yung iniiwasan natin eh. Okay? It's like we're just allowing the farmer to try it based doon sa least, we're just allowing the farmer to try it with the least amount of risk. Okay? Kasi we don't want the farmer na biglaan malugi siya when he or she uses our innovation or maging disadvantage sa kanya. Kasi pag nangyari yun, after our project, hindi na siya maniniwala sa atin. So gusto natin, turuan si farmer na, sige, itry mo lang, pero in a small scale environment lang muna. So that we can observe kung tama ba yung way of thinking natin about the technology, kung tama ba yung naiisip natin na ibibigay na benefit ng technology sa atin. Okay? So that's one. And at the same time, gusto natin makita kasi baka naman may disadvantage na pwede nating solusyonan during that time pa lang, na small scale pa lang yung implementation. So those are the things that we are considering during the trial stage. And comes now, kung naging successful ang ating trial stage, comes now the adoption stage, where the farmer decides to adopt the technology. Kapag nag-decide si farmer na i-reject yung technology, then this stage becomes the rejection stage instead of adoption stage. Okay? So, klaro. Ngayon, tignan naman natin yung another process that is somehow similar to this introduced by Everett Rogers. And this is called the diffusion of innovation. Okay? According to Rogers, the diffusion of innovation is the process by which an innovation spreads among farmers until a large numbers have adopted it. So kasi kanina doon sa adoption process natin, tinitingnan natin yung adoption process ni farmer in an individual level. But this time sa diffusion of innovation stage, we are looking at it in a community level. How is innovation spreading out among the farmers into the community? So that's one of the things that we are analyzing sa diffusion of innovation theory. Okay, ano yung mga key elements niya para hindi tayo malito? Himay-himayin natin. Ano yung mga concepts within the diffusion of innovation? First off, there is an innovation. Question, what is an innovation? Are we just pertaining to new inventions, to new technologies? No. In the context of agricultural extension, when we say innovation, we are pertaining to anything new, okay? Whether that be an idea, method, technology, anything new as perceived by the farmer. Okay? Kasi syempre yung farmer, hindi naman siya exposed lagi sa mga modernized way of, let's say, farming or tilling his land, growing his crops. Pero kapag may nakita siyang bago, then that is an innovation for him. Kahit na hindi yan bago talaga per se, no? Matagal na siyang ginagamit sa ibang lugar, pero doon sa community na yun, bagong rinig nila, that is an innovation for them. Another key element in the diffusion of innovation is communication channels. That is to say, dapat daw itong mga information, dapat daw yung mga innovative information na to is being communicated to the farmers through various communication channels. It is either through print media, okay, or pwedeng sa radio, or pwedeng sa TV, or pwedeng ikaw na pumupunta sa mga bahay-bahay nila, iniisa-isa mo and introducing to them the innovation. Okay? Kasi paano nga naman magdi-diffuse yung innovation kung hindi natin as agricultural extension mai-communicate ng tama. Another key element is time. Okay? Ang pag-diffuse ng innovation takes time, yun ang sinasabi dito. Sometimes, mabilis lang, but most often than not, mabagal. But it needs time kasi later on, pag-uusapan natin yung mamaya yung mga categories of adapters. Kasi hindi lahat ng tao pare-parehas yung bilis nila in adapting an innovation. And of course, maraming factors that is affecting it that can be a challenge na kailangan nating solusyonan moment by moment. And the last element for this theory is that there is a social system involved in the adoption of innovation. Ibig sabihin, yung konteksto, yung setting kung na ginagalawan natin in order to promote this innovation is filled with social factors such as yung culture na kailangan din nating i-consider when we are trying to promote this innovation. Okay? So, isa-isahin natin. Kanina, may process yung ating adoption process. Ang diffusion of innovation ni Rogers ay meron ding process. So, nagsisimula siya dito sa knowledge, then going to persuasion stage, then farmers deciding if they're going to use it, then implementing it, and then confirmation. Ito siguro sa tingin ko yung isa sa mga pinaka-importanteng stage na naidagdag sa innovation diffusion model na wala kanina doon sa ating adoption process. So isa-isahin natin. Knowledge stage is when the farmer understands the new idea. So dapat naintindihan na, hindi lang niya nakuha, hindi lang niya nakita yung idea, dapat naiintindihan niya. And then he starts gathering more information about it. So, one observation is probably knowledge stage is a combination of awareness and interest. Ano ko na lang siya makita doon sa ating awareness and interest stage ng ating adoption process. Ang persuasion stage, si farmer, cognitive to, nagpo-form na siya ng idea or attitude about the technology. So ito ay na-impluwensyahan na niya personally. It is being influenced by personal factors and external factors as well. So at this time, nagpo-form siya ng idea kung positive ba yung innovation or negative sa kanya. Or attitude, no? So may attitude na siya kung makakatulong ba talaga to or hindi. And madalas, yung impluwensya niyan is nanggagaling sa kanya mismo, who is undergoing reflective thinking, and doon sa mga community members na nakakausap niya araw-araw. So that's persuasion stage. The third stage is, magde-decide na si farmer. Am I going to adopt or reject the innovation? So at stage 3 pa lang, meron ng adoption decision. Kanina yung adoption natin, mangyayari sa stage 5, tama? Doon sa adoption process. Dito sa innovation diffusion model, at stage 3, the farmer now will decide, am I going to use or reject the innovation? Or am I going to delay it? Or am I going to, okay, wait lang muna, kailangan ko pa ng more information para ma-evaluate. Yan. So yan yung mga pathways ni farmer during stage 3. Okay? And if ever na mag-decide si farmer na, ay, i-adapt ko yan, comes now stage 4, which is implementation. So, i-implement na niya. Okay? Whether that be small scale or medium scale, although ang gusto natin gawin ni farmer is i-implement niya muna in a small scale level. So, gamitin niya yung innovation, gamitin niya yung technology sa farm niya or sa maliit na parcel ng farm lot niya. And then comes now, of course, the confirmation stage. Yung confirmation stage is, kino-confirm natin kung tama ba yung desisyon ni farmer. So, ibig sabihin yan, kung maganda yung resulta ng innovation doon sa kanyang farm or doon sa kanyang trial farm, then, na-confirm natin kay farmer na tama yung desisyon niya. Kapag kasalungat yung nangyari, no? Opposite yung nangyari doon sa ipinapangako natin, then magkakaroon na ng reconsideration si farmer. Mukhang mali yung decision ko na inadapt ko tong technology. I should have done my research more, or I should have adapted another form of technology. That is confirmation stage. So overall, ito daw yung proseso kung saan nadi-diffuse yung technology or yung innovation sa mga farmers within the community. The question right now is, lahat ba? So, everyone ba in the community will adopt the innovation at the same time? Are they going to adopt the innovation at the same time? The answer? Hindi. Kasi according din kay Everett Rogers, may mga tao na mabilis i-adapt yung technology and may mga tao naman na hindi ganun kabilis. So comes now the topic on the 5 categories of adapters. Okay? So let's see. Magsisimula tayo, of course, doon sa pinakamabilis. And ang pinakamabilis dyan is our innovators. Our innovators, they are the first one to adopt the innovation. So, yun lang yung kailangan natin matandaan dyan. They are adventurous, they are experimental, and medyo pagka-risk takers sila sa mga unknown areas. Sa mga unknown areas or unknown knowledge. Okay? So, gusto nila nagsisik lagi ng new information, new idea that they can implement sa kanilang pamumuhay. The second one, they are the second fastest one to adopt a particular innovation, the early adopters. The early adopters are mostly, they are leaders in the community, they are respected by peers, and they are often consulted before adopting the innovation. Okay? They adopt innovations quickly after the innovators. Ang early majority naman, that's the third one, sila yung pangatlo na nag-a-adapt ng innovation. So they inoobserbahan nila yung una, yung first 2 categories natin. And when they do adapt, they don't delay much, nag-ina-adapt na rin nila yung innovation na yon. Okay? The fourth one is yung ating late majority. Ito, medyo skeptical na sila and conservative when it comes to changes. So ina-adapt lang nila yon after the early majority adapts. Or after everyone here na nasa taas nila adapts. And yung pinakahuli na nag-a-adapt, yung pinakamabagal talaga is we call them our laggards. They are highly resistant to change and they're often suspicious sa mga pagbabago. So bukod sa resistant nila, ayaw nila yung pagbabago, yung idea nila sa pagbabago, sa changes, is medyo negatives. Kaya ang hirap nilang i-convince para i-adapt yung innovation. Okay? So here is a diagram explaining yung distribution ng 5 categories of adapters and their percent distribution. Kung makapansin natin, innovators, well, they are only 2.5% daw of the community. Okay? Mostly kasi ang mga innovators, sila yung mga tao na may resources. So they have the resources. They are younger in general. Okay? They are educated. Pero ito yung pinaka-importanteng feeling ko. Ito yung pinaka-importanteng characteristic nila. They have the resources. Kasi kung ikaw ay risk taker, dapat mayroon kang resources na mairi-risk mo. Okay? And that you're not afraid to fail if ever this fails. Tama? Kasi nga naman, kung wala kang resources, ang hirap sumugal. Okay? Ang hirap maging venturesome. But this category of people in the community, they have the resources, kaya may tapang, kumbaga, matapang sila na matapang sila to adopt a particular innovation as fast as they can. The second one is your early adopters. They are around 13.5% of the population. And isa sa mga key characteristic nila is that they are they are highly educated. They are also considered leaders in the community. Okay? So medyo malaki yung kanilang influence sa community. Yan yung characteristic ng early adopters. Okay? Ang early majority naman, well, above average yung social status nila, they are around 34%. Mostly they are influenced by early adopters, ang early majority. Ang problem lang sa early majority is hindi sila ganun ka-active sa community life. So wala silang leadership positions na hinahawakan sa community life. So parang sila yung pinakamarami actually, around 34%. Actually both early and late majority. Okay? Late majority naman, well, they adopt later than the early majority, as mentioned earlier. They are also around 34% din ng population. Okay? Below average yung kanilang social status and medyo hirap na sila dito when it comes to their finances. So hindi naman hirap na hirap, pero medyo nangangapos na. And skeptical sila when it comes to changes. Laggards, the last one to adopt, 16% of the population. So medyo marami pa rin. Actually, mas marami siya sa innovator at saka early adopters mo. Hindi papansinin natin, di ba? Mas marami siya. Actually, yung population ng laggards is the combined population of innovators and early adopters. That was 2.5 plus 13.5 would yield to 16%, right? So, ang laggards natin, bakit sila laggards? I think that's the question. They are laggards because sila yung halos walang resources sa community. Okay? What I'm saying is, una, hindi sila, in terms of finances, kapos na kapos. Okay? In terms of social status, wala rin sila ganong power sa community. So, mababa rin ang social status nila. Limited din yung information na kaalaman nila. So, in terms of information, limited din yung alam nila. And mostly, sila yung mga matatanda na sa community. So, of course, kapag nga naman mababa yung bilang ng resources mo, ang hirap nga naman mag-risk. That is the very reason why laggards are late to adopt. Kasi they don't have the resources or the security, ganun na lang natin, that's one way of thinking about it. They don't have the security na paano kapag nag-fail ako, what will happen to me? So they are protecting themselves, conserving yung idea nila na sa tingin nila mas effective kaysa doon sa innovation na ini-introduce natin. So understanding yung dynamics ng 5 categories of adopters na to is very important as an agricultural extensionist, nang sa ganon, mai-tailor fit natin yung ating approach based doon sa kanilang category. Kung innovators, hindi ganon masyadong kahirap, pero dapat bigyan natin ng maraming information kasi itong mga to ay matanong. Kapag laggards naman, we should be more understanding. Probably. Kasi we know na hindi ganon kadali sa kanila ang mag-adapt ng innovation. But understanding this process and trying to categorize yung mga community members into these categories would help us tailor fit our approach so that it would be more effective in targeting and convincing these groups of people. Okay?